Is the deal now in jeopardy?
Well, it's certainly under pressure. I mean, China hasn't bought as much as it said it would have because, of course, the economy is under major pressure here. So that's one area of concern for U.S. officials. And, of course, you've heard President Trump and others suggesting that they could walk back on this phase one deal. Of course, in January, when they signed off on this, Trump had said, look, we're going to get to phase two, we're going to get to phase three, maybe in 2020. Of course, that all is pie in the sky right now. The focus is on whether or not they can actually maintain this phase one deal as it stands. So we had this editorial, or at least this piece of reporting in the Global Times, a nationalistic tabloid here, looking and suggesting that there are officials within the trade camp in China that are now considering the possibility of nixing this trade deal. Apparently they're very angry about these U.S. accusations of the way that China has handled the virus, and this will be one potential response. Another option apparently being considered would be opening the phase one trade deals up again to renegotiations to try and push the balance more to the Chinese side. Now, that seems highly unlikely given the commentary we've heard from the U.S. side. The idea from China is that they could initiate these force majeure provisions that are baked into the phase one deal, or they could just use that to pull out altogether or to rework it. Again, it could just be part of the rhetorical sparring between the two sides. It's worth reminding viewers that, of course, we did have these talks between Lighthizer on the U.S. side and Bill Hur, his team, last week, and both sides on the back of that issued a communique saying that they were confident that they would reach these agreements around the phase one deal, that they would continue to communicate and work towards that goal.
And Tom, there's been now a cluster of virus cases in Wuhan where, of course, we believe the virus originated. Despite those numbers coming down today in terms of new cases, what are the concerns at this point?
Well, this is all about whether or not you're going to see a second wave in China, whether or not the system they put in place around testing and screening and quarantining, temperature checks everywhere, scanning people's smartphones, whether that system is robust enough to ensure that there isn't a second wave that cripples the country once again. So far, these have been isolated outbreaks, but of course the concern is that they could spread. So you've had this outbreak in Wuhan, 5 people, confirmed cases, all of them living in the same residential compound apparently, but it follows other clusters that we've seen on the China-Russia border and on the China-North Korea border as well. So far it seems, according to officials, that these have remained clusters. They haven't spread yet, but clearly this is going to ensure that officials are on their toes, making sure that they are monitoring everyone, tracing everyone and putting people into quarantine. And again, it's a stress test of this system as China tries to get its economy back into full throttle.